Okay, so today I want to talk to you guys about Moneyball, how you can do it on Football Manager, and how to make your saves. We're going to go through everything from how to download the skin, to each individual squad view I use, to how to actually sign players, and of course, all the way at the start, how to actually set up your Moneyball saves. Now, this is going to be an ultimate guide to Moneyball here on Football Manager, so if you are interested, well, you're about to learn a lot on exactly how to play Moneyball on FM24. Now, for this video, we're going to be using the Spartak end of Season 1 save file that I've got from the Moneyball Journeyman, which is a video I released on Sunday at 7 o'clock. It is by far the best video I've ever made on this channel, and it's a series which is going to come out weekly Sunday at 7 o'clock, so you guys can watch a full Moneyball save here on FM24, and it is a Journeyman as well, so linking up to the best parts of FM. Now, I'm going to be going through the different tactical views I use in this video, the squad views that I use to analyze players with data, the scouting filters to actually search for players that I can sign, and of course, loads of different views as well. I need to give a massive shout out to a legend in the Discord and the videos called Icy, who has sent me some incredible squad views, which we're going to be using today to hopefully analyze players and make some fantastic signings. And for some of you guys that haven't watched the Moneyball journey, this is a tier that I've made so you guys can go on a Moneyball Journeyman. The way you do it is you start in the bottom tier and you can't move up to the next tier until you win both a domestic cup and first division in the nation. So like we are here in Serbia with Spartak, we can't leave until we win the league and cup in this league, and you only can spend £1.25 million on one singular player. As we move up to the next tier, we can go to Turkey or to Brazil or to Austria. Same again. Next tier, Argentina, Belgium, Netherlands, Portugal, and so on and so forth. And the end goal is to win the Champions League. We're only spending a maximum of £10 million on a single player. So it's going to be an absolute journey. And like I said, that video is going to come out every single Sunday at 7 o'clock. But enough of the promo for the series, because I want to actually teach you guys how to use Moneyball, how you can get this Musterman skin, which is an absolute game changer. It is attributeless, so if you guys don't like attributeless skins, well, don't worry. Everything else in this video you can use on a standard skin. I normally use the WTCS 1.3 gold skin, and you guys can use that one along with all of the different bits we're going to say in today's video. But if you want an extra hard challenge, which is part of the Moneyball journey, is using an attributed skin as well. And trust me, it makes FM really fun, but also really, really difficult. I have got a video on the channel already sort of explaining the Musterman skin, but the best guy to watch a video on how this skin works and all the intricate details is Musterman himself. So if you're looking for a full in-depth guide on the skin, go check his channel out. But the skin is just very easy to download yourself. I will leave a link to the FM Scout link down in the description. Simply download the skin and put it in your folder of FM where you put skins. For anyone that doesn't know that, it's very simple. Head to your documents, Sports Interactive, Football Manager 2024, and come down to skins. Put the Musterman iconic skin in there and it will work. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to just show you guys now as well. We're going to go through loads of different views today. I will make sure to put all the views available in a download file in the Patreon for free down in the description down below. You just sign up as a member for free and you get access to all of these. And yeah, I'll put them all down there. These are all from Icy and they're all fantastic. So I'm not selling them. They are all completely free. But these are all the views. Again, you very simply go Documents, Sports Interactive, Football 2024 and put it in your views folder. If you haven't got a views folder, make a new folder and call it views, all lowercase. And you get access to the views folder and it will all go onto Football Manager, as simple as that. Now, this was the first ever save that I've done where I've not used an Excel spreadsheet or external information to use Moneyball signings. I've done it all inside of the games and it's been massively helped by the squad views that I've got. This is a very standard squad view that I would normally use to go through and find players. Now, the first thing you've got to do is import yourself a filter. Again, the same as the views, you go to the same folders and you put the filters that I'll put in the Patreon down below into your filters folder. And you want the filters to look something like this. It has got every single league that you could potentially want a player from in there, and also having an average rating above a 7. And in minutes, I've got at least a 0 at the moment. Because of managing in Serbia, there's only 156 players that are even interested in joining us from these leagues. If I make it 1,000 minutes, well, that goes down to just 28 players, which makes it very, very difficult. Now, throughout this save in the Moneyball journey, I am not just using Moneyball filters. I'm also picking up free agents. I'm also finding bargains in the market, and I'll go through how I'm finding them as well. But the main thing we are using is the Moneyball filter. And again, this will be down below. I have slightly edited a few of them. Now this one, for example, I've made sure that the Serbian First League is in there, which is the championship, for example, in English terms, because we're managing in Serbia. I'm going to be finding players from the leagues below as well. So if you're managing in a nation like Norway, for example, and you want the Norwegian second division, simply come up here, click the drop down, put club, division, and then where it's and or, make sure you click or, and then you go to Europe. You would go to Norway, for example, and we would go with the Norwegian First Division as well, just to add some extra players in. You can see straight away for me, I'm not sure if that's a different number or not actually, but yeah, we added in another league so people could potentially come in from there as well. And if you're managing in a nation like England, you want to find out League 1, League 2, Championship players, I'd recommend doing that. Now that is how you filter out all the Moneyball players, but what the legend called IC done was actually made it so we don't need to export to what's it called, Excel. We can literally do it all here in Football Manager. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, Excel is certainly easier. You can export all the files, and I'll leave a link to a video up there where you can, you know, track through different players and bits like that. But if you haven't got Excel, or like me, I actually just want to keep it in Football Manager and keep it as real as possible in the game, you want to do it all in FM. And with these views, you can do exactly that. Now we'll start off with just a general view. For example, this has got very basic stats in there: appearances, starts, goals, XG per 90, etc. Or we can go down and look at, say, box-to-box midfield view. This is one that I have used myself. Now, if you have it so their names and positions don't come up, don't worry. Either just click on transfers, click back on scouting, go back on players, and it will turn up. For some reason, with Football Manager, when you load in too many bits, it gets a little bit buggy. So yeah, just don't panic too much. The same goes to the filter. Often, these names will not be there. Just come off of it, go into transfers, go into scouting, players, and you're back on the screen. It'll show, all the names will show. I've panicked many times looking at that. But for example, right now we are looking for a box-to-box midfielder. So we're going to filter it down into a central midfielder. And we now can see there is 15 players which fit the Moneyball criteria that are potentially available to us. But the good thing about the Excel spreadsheet is you can see all their different stats. Well, IC has made it so we can see them all on Football Manager, which is absolutely fantastic. So we can see here, for example, this top guy has got 18 starts, 1 goal, 3 assists. If we look into some more of his stats, his pass completion percentage is 75%, which is a little bit low. His possession won is 2.34 times a game, which is all right. It's not amazing. We've got dribbles per 90. He's not great at getting into the box. So for a box-to-box midfielder, he's probably not the one we go for. Despite being one of the highest average rating players, this is someone which would not suit our system whatsoever. And the beautiful thing about the Musterman skin is we can click on his profile and instantly see that from this graph here as well. Obviously, he doesn't lose possession a lot, but he doesn't pressure the ball. He doesn't make any progressive passes. Alexa Durasovic would not suit our box-to-box midfielder role. But if we come down and we scroll across, for example, to... I hope this is going to work because, to be honest, we've not got enough players here to really filter through because we're managing in Serbia. Makes it very difficult. But we'll look here at someone with decent starts. Oh, God, there's not many players here at all with a distance per 90. I mean, just for example, if this guy had, say, 20 games, it would be much easier to actually see what he was about. But we can see straight away, Matteo for the Yelloso covers 15 kilometers a game, which is really high. You're looking at above 12 to be good. A kilometer, sorry, that's really weird. It was about 12 plus is really good. But we can see he's only played 1 game. So we're going to take this with a pinch of salt. That's why ideally we have 1,000 minutes in. But because we're managing in Serbia, we can't do that. So we have to be a little bit, you know, aggressive. We have to take risks, which is the whole point. But we can see straight away this guy, very good progressive passes, very good possession won, very good pressures attempted. We changed in defensive midfielders. He's very good at everything, and attacking midfielders are very good at everything as well. In terms of these little bits in the Moneyball skin, the unsung hero keeps things ticking over. Superb at winning possession and playing it safe, and also as the fox in the box, elusive and clinical, a volume goal scorer. That's because it's got 1 goal in 94 minutes. But what we are seeing here straight away is that Matteo for the Yoso is someone who is a bit of a box-to-box and could be someone that we look to sign. Now, what I often do is add them onto a separate shortlist. So I will scout the player and then add them on to... Oh, he's already on the shortlist. I mean, look at that. I'm well ahead of the game. In terms of shortlists, I make a few. So we will say we will have a Moneyball midfielder. And we'll have that. so that every single player that I add onto here, so for example, I'm going to go for and do the top 5. We'll just imagine that every single one of them I have scouted, lists, add to shortlist, and Moneyball midfielder for 3 months. We don't want them on there for too long, and we'll get scouting them as well. We need to know their ability as well as their Moneyball stats. I quite like doing that. Some people like purely going off Moneyball stats. I personally don't. It scares me a bit. And then finally, we're going to look at Burak Ince here, because this is actually a player that I identified to come in and be a box-to-box midfielder in the actual video. I tried to sign him. I had a deal agreed for 120,000, which would have been an absolute bargain for a 21-year-old player who moved for 1.7 million not too many seasons ago. That's the sort of Moneyball signings I'm looking to make in this series as well. Players which have got clear talent, which haven't quite made it yet, like a Dele Alli. Can we revitalise his career? Burak Ince is a bit like that. And yeah, sadly, he didn't join due to contract issues, which was very frustrating. But someone which, again, really works. Good possession one, good expected assists. Would be more of a creative midfielder. In our system, we play with Ahmet Zala on support. He'd have gone perfectly into that role for us. But it's not just like box-to-box midfielders that these views are through. We can go through and look at strikers, for example. You want to make sure you go through and sort of make sure all of these are easy enough to see. I don't know with box-to-box midfielders as a bit of a thingamabobby. You want to go through as well and change centre mid into striker. So now we are looking at strikers, who these maximum we've got here is a goals of 15. We want to compare that compared to his XG, wherever that is, which is, that's the XG over performance actually. So that's a really good stat to look into. Now he is playing at TNS. Any piece of advice I can give you from this video, ignore everyone from TNS. They dominate the league and every single player is always rubbish. In fact, if I was you, I've not actually done this yet, I would delete the JD Primary Premier off your filters. It is the worst league to scout players from. It's just horrendous. So yeah, ignore all that. I wish there was a way to easily kind of like do every single one, but sadly there's not. You have to go through and do this, which is a bit frustrating. But yeah, so we're looking at goals here. So someone that's interested in us, that fits all the Moneyball criteria here. 7 average rating, being a striker, the top goal scorer with their XG over performance of 0.55. Vladislav Kulic is a 32-year-old striker. I don't like the look of him at all, to be honest. In terms of being a striker, doesn't dribble the ball very well. Possession lost is good, but he doesn't really score many goals at all. And no one here actually stands out in the slightest. So this is where, in the actual video, I went off and got Bausa Tuskovic. Now, I will try and find him. There he is, look. Bausa Tuskovic. He didn't come up in any of the Moneyball criteria searches. I believe I just found him through general scouting. So, like I said, it's not always a case where you have to use these filters. We could just clear them, go to striker, and look at who comes up and who is recommended. I mean, very simply, like we do in normal videos, we can see recommendations here with scouting, what everyone's done, and then go through and pick from here. They don't have to meet the Moneyball criteria. Like I've said, especially in this video, I want to stress that you don't have to use the Moneyball way. Juanma here, for example, is a 32-year-old who scores loads of goals. Well, a decent amount of goals, would be a good backup. We can't see his Moneyball stats, but he's wanted by Oviedo, Tarragona. I mean, for example, if we were to approach to sign him, important player, we want to play him up front. He's 32. In this season, Nigel Robertha left us, so we could have replaced him here with a 32-year-old Juanma. Obviously, would go and do full scouting on him for 1.6k a week, and would be a really good signing. We can see from his ability already, he looks really good. Really good final third, really good movement, really good set pieces, good physical stats, good defending. I mean, that would have been a really good signing. And we literally found him by being very, very simple. But Bausa Tuskovic is the guy that I actually ended up signing, again, through just general scouting. If we look into his thing as strikers, decent in terms of goals. His value was around 400k, I think we picked him up for. And I liked the fact he had good composure and good speed. In terms of his actual stats, 17 goals in 36 games in Montenegro, which is decent. And was one of them panic signings, which, if you haven't seen yet, ended up working quite well. But yeah, he was one of them panic signings because Robertha left us like 5 days before the window ended, which was infuriating. But this guy ended up being really good. And we kind of just had a hunch that he'd be good. We looked at the fact that he could score goals where he plays 17 and 36, and we took a risk on him. And that's the kind of thing that I'm doing in this Moneyball series. I'm not just strictly sticking to, you know, they've scored 24 goals and their extra performance is 0.2. We have to go out there and find different players as well. So with the scouting, don't, shoehorn yourself into only being able to use these, but these are fantastic in identifying different players. I'm not the best person at data analysis, but very simply, like a defensive midfielder, you want them to be able to have good possession one stats and good pass piece completion percentage, especially as like a deep lying playmaker. For a striker, you want goals to XG. For a winger, if you're looking for them to cross the ball, you want high cross completion percentage. For fullbacks, the same. Goalkeepers is a very, very difficult one. You can see here in the squad view, for example, what I do when I compare my players is I come to the filter, take it off, so it's just on goalkeepers. I knew that I needed a brand new goalkeeper this season. Zlazar Slavkovic had a minus 4.45 expected goals prevented, which means he's let in 4.5 goals too many this season compared to what he should have done, which is shocking. So again, use little bits like that to find players that you need to sell or need to buy. So on this squad view screen, I want to go through how I'm actually choosing players which need to be staying or need to be going. So if we put this to every single position, you can see what I do is I have my first 11, goalkeeper all the way down to striker, my backup 11 as sub 1 down to sub 11. So I have 2 players for every single position. I also, before actually going through and doing the squad, I'll make sure that anyone in this development center, which should be in the first team, is there. Someone like Makai, who is Serbian, which is really important for registration rules, needs to be involved in this as well. Now from there, we'll go through each position. So looking into our goalkeepers, we can see that Slavkovic, for example, really not good enough. In terms of his last 5 games, a 6.56. His average rating was 6.7. And this is actually a signing that I made for 130k. It was a risky one. We signed him being a young goalkeeper from Partizan who was playing for their partner club, Telepic, for 130k. I could probably sell him right now for the same sort of money. In fact, his transfer value is bang on in the middle of that. So he would do a good job there. In terms of his goalkeeping stats, though, you can see really good on the ball, awful at the rest. So someone that we are definitely going to look to potentially move on. In terms of other goalkeepers, looking at a backup, we've got Marin Dulic here, who certainly does the job, or out on loan goalkeeper Maxim Sadaf. Also looking very good, played 2 games at a 7.55, potentially needs another loan deal to go out there and really prove himself. Vulic is a goalkeeper that I moved on from, 6.68 in his average rating. Obviously a good last 5 games, but he was here initially and also thought he was not good enough. So I can see that a goalkeeper is a position of need, and Dulic as the backup is more than good enough. We've checked out our youngsters as well, like the one that's on loan, and he's not quite going to be able to be a backup or starter just yet, so we know that we need to identify a goalkeeper as a position of need. Moving on into defenders, we click on defenders, take off left-sided and central, looking purely at right backs. Now here we have got Marko Mihailovic on a 6.75, but not finishing the season very well, and Luka Tukrovac, who has finished the season very well. Now he is just 20 years of age. Is obviously listed as sub 2, so he is the backup right back. For some reason he wasn't listed there. But I'm very happy with this partnership. We've got an older right back with a 6.75 average rating and a younger right back on the exact same. What I'll probably do next season is switch these over as we get probably to the halfway point. If things are going well, switch them over. But we know that right back is pretty covered off, so I'm going to leave them both in their positions. Move on into centre backs. We have got Subotic and Bogchajevic on a 6.75 and 6.9, and then Lukic and Prijilovic. Now Lukic is on a 6.58 at 23 years of age and hasn't made it, so not going to be good enough for me. And Subotic is someone who has some decent value. We can get around 500k for him. We're going to look to sell him. Very good on the ball, but not good at defending. And in terms of a 6.75, really not good enough. So I know I need to go out there and get another centre-back, but we have identified a young Serbian centre-back who is loan listed, but at 19 years of age, is able to come in, fit registration rules, and he's a good defender. So he can come in, be a backup centre-back, and I only need to sign 1 centre-back. I do that for every single position. I look into these stats as well. So if my goal scorer, striker hasn't got good XG percentage, etc., or my wingers aren't doing what I want them to do, either I'll come into this tactic screen and tweak it. So for example, I signed this Radoslavic, come in and be an inside forward. If we think based on his stats that he's actually performed better as a winger, we'll make a tactical tweak to make that happen. But what I do is I go through each position, analyze the squad in that way. And it's a really good way of building your squad using data and then being able to not overspend on positions you don't need, identifying the positions you do actually need, so that when you come into this scouting, you know that you need to look at a, whereas centre-backs here, you need to look at a centre-back. It's something that is massively needed. We will go back in, we will add the MS filter in, and we'll have a look at centre-backs which fit the bill here. And there's a bunch of them. For example, straight away, this is actually a signing I made because it was very cheap and very easy. A loan deal of Vuk Bogdanovic can come in, be a rotation option for us, and he's Serbian. Fits the bill straight away. And to remind you that over 68% of you right now are not subscribed to the channel. You might think you are, but you probably aren't. So just have a little look down below, and if it says subscribed, you're a legend. If it says subscribe, we'll smash that button and help us get to 20k by FM26. And then finally, I want to talk about something that the Moneyball skin does really, really well. It's something that we get the information to on every single save we do and every single game we go into. I've skipped into a random game week and actually managed to pick a game week where we're playing against Crvena Zvezda, who are one of the best teams in the league. And every single career you go through and game you play, you get this pre-match analyst report. And I bet, just like me, none of you use it. I always forget to go back into the game and actually look at it. But what the Moneyball skin, the Musterman skin, sorry, does really well is down in this bottom right-hand corner, might be covered by my face cam. I'll try to remember to pick it up. But there is a little free bar chart, so I haven't done it. Click that. And that information is on your tactics screen, which is so, so helpful. Because, for example, we might have missed that Nicolas Pepe is performing at a simply ridiculous rate this season. So we can go into your position instructions on Nicolas Pepe, make sure to tight mark, make sure to trigger press and also tackle hard and show him onto his right foot, because it's his goals that we're worried about. He is their key man, and we have seen that through having the data available to us on the skin, on the tactics screen pre-game. Looking into what they do, they score lots of goals. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the league. They took a lot of shots as well, so you can try and set your tactics so you can nullify that. You look into someone here like Radonjic, who again is scoring lots of goals, getting lots of assists, and is going to be really, really hard to stop. But if we want to do it, we might as well. Radonjic is the cam. Now, because obviously he's in the cam role, we really don't want to trigger press too much. We do want to definitely tight mark. In terms of the advice, marking him entirely at all times should improve our chances of winning the match. We just want to try and nullify him. Again, I'm going to tackle hard. I like to do that on certain players, just so they know not to attack us and stop trying to score goals against us. And then the top one is about movement. So we can see that they are getting lots of fouls per game against them, and they do lots of dribbles per game. So if there's any way we can try and nullify that, what I would do probably for this game, make sure you click this next match only button at the top. Because they're dribbling a lot with the ball, we don't want to try and give them any in behind space. We either want to set up a low block, or we want to have a high line with a mid block, just to try and really compact them in, trap them inside. Don't let them dribble. We want to get stuck in, trigger the press, and don't let them attack us. We'll run with the ball. And that's something that will work really well at nullifying their dribbles per 90. So all little bits like that are just really good on the Musterman skin and massively help how we actually go into the game. I actually just want to see what them little tweaks manage to do out of pure interest. I do play my games on 2D in Moneyball as well, because this just gives me a really better understanding of how to actually analyze the game and how things are going. I feel like 2D is a really underutilized thing when tactic building. I am definitely excited for improved graphics on FM26, but I grew up playing Football Manager 2009 onwards. So, you know, I used to call this the dot game. It's very famous in my family of, are you going to go and play dot game? It was something we used to do on Christmas. And yeah, I used to love playing it. So yeah, I've grown up playing it like this, and it really helps me understand how the tactic is doing and be able to analyze the game. Nicolas Pepe, I mean, we showed him out wide, and we done that. We trapped him outside. He got a cross in, and they scored early on. So yeah, sometimes when a player is just that good, there's not really a lot you can do. And that game ended up finishing 2-0 down to a red card, which is a little bit frustrating. But you can see we managed to nullify them quite a lot in terms of their like average rating. They played very well. We just didn't play that well, sadly. But I think we've done pretty well at actually nullifying what they do. And the final thing we're going to go through today is actually how to set up your Moneyball save. So very simply, we're going to click start a new game, head to career. On the database thing, I have all of these enabled just because they're all like promotions, relegations, and transfer updates. Choose a game mode and click original. Now, I am not 100% sure if I've still got it, but I used to have a startup, which I will put in the Patreon description down below as well, which if you're using it, you need to put into your game setup folder. I do actually, it's called Moneyball Setup. So very simply, head to your interactive folder again, documents, sports interactive, football manager, game setup, and put that one in there. It'll be called Moneyball Setup. So that's the one you want to put in there. And then you want to come down to game setup, click load, and load up the Moneyball Setup. And that will give you loads of leagues that are all playable or view only and should help you import loads of stats. We have 93,000 players in the database. I've got a pretty decent PC which can run that. If yours is going to struggle with that, just take a few things off. I'll probably concentrate on Oceania. Very rare we sign players from there. It decreases a few players. North America as well. You could take that off. Or if there's a few leagues that you're not going to manage in, then take them off. For example, like the Slovenia League, you could remove that. In terms of game start date, I'm not sure if I've got it actually here. I haven't. So we'd also add in the Seychelles. And we will be starting on the 27th of May. And very simply disable. No, we don't want that. We want preventing the use of the in-game editor and start game. As simple as that. You can start your own Moneyball Journeyman. And as I said, Sunday at 7 o'clock every single week, there's going to be another installment of the Moneyball Journeyman. So I'd give that a watch. It is an absolutely banging series, and the journey is going to be absolutely incredible to eventually win in the Champions League on an attributeless skin using Moneyball. So if you like the sound of it, we'll check out the first episode linked just down there and subscribe to the channel. And I'll speak to you guys next time.